The power of scientific ideas, analysis of data, breakthroughs, understanding nature and the study of human needs. Here, the ideas of the East are supported by Western technology. Here, collaboration of the best minds creates new solutions. Here, every discovery makes human life easier, and the environment becomes cleaner and safer. The International Science and Technology Center is a platform for scientific collaboration and the promotion of science. This film will show the results of ISTC's work in Tbilissi, the capital of Georgia. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, when the Iron Curtain was drawn back, scholars in post-Soviet countries became free. However, at the same time, investment into science collapsed. Georgia, with its great scientific potential, was one of these countries. Saving science in the new reality became a critical mission for Georgians. In 1990, investment into science in Georgia was 1.2% of GDP. By 1995, it was just 0.1%. From 1991 to 2003, the number of people engaged in scientific and technical fields in Georgia decreased from 33.1 thousand to 17.8 thousand.
ISTC was the first serious international organization that supported science in Georgia after the Soviet Union collapsed, and it's continuing to do so today. Historically, Georgian science as part of Soviet science served military needs. And after achieving independence, most weapon scientists were left without any help or financial support. And we've got help from ISTC. The weapon scientists were then engaged in peaceful projects by ISTC. They work in collaboration with their colleagues from around the world and use their experience and knowledge for civilian purposes.
What ISTC was doing is peaceful transformation of weapon scientists to the normal scientists for the democratic and development country. This was the ISTC main contribution in terms of the social life in Georgia, and also it was the huge asset, particularly in first years of the transition period, meaning from 1994 to 2004, for 10 years.
We survived as an organization thanks to ISTC. We had no equipment, no laboratories, and people were leaving science. And at that moment, help came from nowhere. We got grants, we could buy equipment, and we started traveling. Science came back to life.
At the beginning, at quite difficult time, ISTC helped rescue not only several scientific teams and scientific organizations, but scientific directions as well. Today, for me, it's quite hard to name any well-known scientific organization which is not or was not involved in the activity of the ISTC.
Lack of funding led to a brain drain in many post-Soviet countries. Georgia was not an exception. Over 50% of scientists left research organizations and laboratories. Some of them moved out of Georgia. Others found more profitable jobs in the local market. Needless to say, young people did not show any great interest in science. They avoided working in scientific projects as they considered them unpromising. This changed when Georgia received first funding from ISTC. Nowadays, more and more young people are staying in institutes after graduation, doing PhDs, and see their futures in science.
Since ISTC started working in Georgia, the situation changed for the better. The scientists' projects got funding, and scientists could do what they are passionate about and earn a living. As one of the positive results, we have noticed the rapid growth of the number of young scientists. Nowadays, in every project funded by ISTC, 30% of scientists are under 35 years old. They come from opportunities which just recently were not here. Thanks to ISTC, they can travel, publish their papers, work in nice, fully equipped laboratories, and work in collaboration with the scientists from around the world.
We are trying to explain the scientific groups that for them it's quite good when also not only involvement of young scientists is good in the project, but also if the scientists and professors who are leading the project give more freedom to the young scientists, that they became the managers of the projects. And now we have several projects, partner projects, led by the young scientific managers.
We have noticed a high demand for work in science among young people. More of those who come here as students decide to stay. Taking part in such international cooperation helps them to get a better understanding of the current situation in the physics world. It's what young scientists need.
Мы начинали в свое время в таких тяжелых условиях.
We opened the center in a difficult time, and there was no funding except ISTC grants. Their help came in handy. We got everything we needed, and now most of these young specialists who got trained also because of ISTC work in these new excellent laboratories. Let's have a look.
Посмотреть, как они работают.
This is our molecular biology laboratory and the genomic center. We can see how young scientists are involved in the studies of various pathogens in Georgia. They work really hard in collaboration with our colleagues from Georgia, United States, Switzerland, and others, and we admire their contribution and commitment to science.
Lela Urushadze is a young scientist. She is involved in the project of the emerging zoonotic pathogens in Georgian bats. After numerous experiments, she proved that bats can be carriers of brucellosis.
There is already extracted RNA from my bat tissues, and I'm going to run PCR sample for find corona. This project helped me a lot because I'm doing my PhD about bird research, and it helped our institution as well because our institute working for zoonotic pathogens, and it will be like new way to find transmission of some emerging zoonotic pathogens from bats.
The bats are not usually known as carriers of brucellosis. Nonetheless, Georgian scientists made a hypothesis, gathered information, and proved the case. Therefore, a small project funded by ISTC made not only contribution to the science, but also solved the public health needs of our country. In total, ISTC financed about 20 projects in our center, and most of these projects have helped not only science, but more importantly, the people of Georgia.
The Large Hadron Collider is a good example of international collaboration. Georgian specialists have been involved in the project from the very beginning. Their experience from the Soviet period was fundamental. The Georgian team, mostly military scientists, now uses their accumulated knowledge for peaceful purposes. This is an ordinary daily meeting. The team of scientists at CERN and scientists from Tbilissi report how research is progressing in each team. Everyone works on their own site. Scientists in Georgia make calculations, while specialists in Geneva apply these calculations to devices in the collider.
Основными задачами
Participation in such projects keep our work alive. Most of the scientists in our institute are qualified specialists with considerable authority in the scientific community. After the Soviet Union collapsed, we did not have any financial resources to continue setting up experiments. I must say that experiments in the physics world are very expensive and require enormous resources, both financial and intellectual. Having neither of them could cause our disappearance. It is why working in collaboration with our colleagues from the Western world is vital for us. We give them our knowledge and experience, and they give us access to new technologies, wide data and future considerations.
Georgian physicists are participating in this worldwide collaboration since 1994, and they have an important contribution in the we have started collaboration with this experiment at early stages of experiment preparation, and Georgian physicists had important contribution in all stages of preparation, including participation in tile calorimeter installation, commissioning and refurbishment of electronics, and also in physics programs within Atlas experiment scientific program. And our project is belongs to the area of basic research, and it is devoted to the study and discovery of new physics, new signatures of new physics.
Many projects within the ISTC have commercial potential. The scientists attend special seminars with colleagues from different fields to get ideas on how to write business plans and learn more about copyright protection.
The activity of the branch office is multi-angle, so I don't know, beginning from organizing of official meetings, conferences, workshops, peer companies, and so on, ending with the support of ongoing scientific teams of the ISTC projects, and also Georgian branch office is quite active, helped the new teams and young scientists to prepare the project proposals for the ISTC.
Грузия ведь транспортный коридор.
Georgia is a transport corridor to the countries of Central Asia, such as Kazakhstan, Armenia, and Azerbaijan. As a result, a large number of cars move through Georgia, causing environmental problems. We are happy to announce that we have found a solution for this. Over many decades, Georgian scientists have been collecting large numbers of strains of fungi, so we tested them and found a new and nice approach to make an eco-fuel. The biofuel is cheaper, faster, and safer to produce, and it's just the beginning.
Speaking about the practical importance of scientific projects, Georgia is primarily motivated by its own needs. Environmental problems are a priority for Georgian scientists. Therefore, the project for cheap and environmentally friendly biofuel has received considerable support. Investors have already shown their interest in future developments.
Using most of the opportunities of climate and geographical locations in Georgia, we started collecting samples of strains 10 years ago. Nowadays, we hold thousands of samples and have a unique amount of available data. By testing each strain, we found the best specimens that can increase the speed of biofuel production. In this laboratory, I do the seeding process and get a pure culture of the strains. It is very painstaking work, and I have to seed them repeatedly until I get what is required. Then I send these pure strains to my colleagues for further processing. When we get the pure strains, we add them to agricultural waste. This agricultural waste is a cheap raw material and renewable resource for us. It can be grated grains, peel from fruit, and other plant leftovers. We try to find the best way of processing the strains and agricultural waste without using chemicals. As a result, our approach to producing glucose is more natural and safer for the environment. The natural and cheap production of the glucose gives us an opportunity to produce ethanol also safe and fast. The ethanol is very environmentally friendly fuel that can successfully replace gasoline. As a result of faster and environmentally friendly decomposition of waste, biofuel is obtained, which can be used in everyday life and at work. Without ISTC, we wouldn't finish this great project and make our life in Georgia safer and better.
ISTC has become part of life for Georgian scientists. Every day they come to work and try to find new solutions, new ways of thinking, and move science forward at least one small step. It is how it should be and how it is.